Good evening, my creatures of the dark, and welcome to the Critical Misses channel. Over 1,000 years ago, the old empire and kingdom of Scoville established a coal mining settlement at a river delta that grew into a small port town over several generations. 160 years after that, the cataclysm struck. The far northern reaches are spared the worst of the earthquakes and the volcanic eruptions, but the people of that small mining settlement, like almost all of the survivors of the cataclysm, swore eternal fealty to the immortal emperor in exchange for his magical protection when the world was broken. Fast forward 809 more years, local citizens object to the Imperium moving the vast majority of toxic Leviathan blood processing to the factory town of Lockport. The Skovlanders insist that they are not subject to the unilateral imperial decree claiming their figurehead king Aldrich. Over the course of the conflict known as the Unity War, over 2,000 Skovlanders, refugees, flee their war-torn homeland and make for the closest port, a city called Duskfall. 2 years ago, the Unity War came to an end when Skovlands surrendered after Queen Elaine and her husband were killed by an assassin that no one seems to know the name of. But our story doesn't start just anywhere in the city of Duskfall. It starts down in the port side of Duskfall, specifically inside the Blue Hats satellite station. The camera pans in and we see this dirtied off-white linoleum floor and a large mirror that we know is one way. A tired man with a graying frock of blonde hair walks in, sighs, and adds a powdered creamer into a small, slowly burbling cup of black liquid. Takes a sip, sits down, and puts on his glasses. Caroline, you can send the first detainee in. Ryan, who do we see walk in on the other side of the glass?
Cole is man about 6 foot, brown skin, clean shaven face, has cornrows going in sections up to the top, ending in a V pattern towards the back with a bush on top, and generally wearing dark clothes.
All right. As you step in, there's a small file that is in front of this blonde blue coat officer that he's sort of flipping through. All right. Caroline, you can send in the next one. And Max, who do we see enter behind Cole?
So Bishop is not very conservative looking to start there. Kind of like a 5'7" or 5'8", slender and pale figure with these eye bags that look like they haven't slept in maybe a day or two, piercing red irises, and a sort of darker teal hair that's rather messy, almost like a bedhead, which is short but with two longer thin braids that go down the back.
Fantastic. And you see this blonde man sort of squint as Bishop enters the room. There's a hint of recognition, but to you, it just looks like there's a mirror. And the next, after this dull buzzing sound rings out in the room that Cull and Bishop find themselves in, the door opens again, and shrouding the entrance, Alex, who do we see?
You see a very long-legged woman with stark raven hair and with her eyes just piercing through this thick black smudged makeup that she is clearly kind of using as a not very good mask. But she's also dressed rather scantily, but with a long leather trench coat and high leather knee-high boots. She kind of looks a little bit too overly comfortable in her scenario, looking around and kind of smirking at everything, constantly checking a little stopwatch in her hand, a little wristwatch.
Fantastic. As you step and line up next to the two next to you, you all look at the interior of this room, and it is stained and it smells like old tobacco. There's much grime and muck in between the linoleum tiles in here that your boots are also leaving behind as it's raining outside, and there's some mud on your shoes as you're making your entrance.
I love the smell of home.
And with that, there's another dull and the door swings open, revealing Becca's character.
Right on time.
Nines is probably about 5'11" with medium brown hair, long hair that's like slicked back, kind of down their back. They've got like a strong build, kind of like a boxer. Their eyes are kind of like a bored, deep green. They've got scars and the occasional bruise all over their face. The most prominent among them are the nose that's clearly been broken like several different times before, and a large line above their right eye. A small section of their left eyebrow is also gone. And Nines is wearing like a kind of classic dress shirt, probably unbuttoned a bit at this point, with a navy blue vest pulled over it, with, I assume, also the classic leather shoulder holster that they're wearing has been probably removed by the pigs.
It has been set along with the rest of your possessions. And as the door swings closed, Janie, your character is sitting in the wooden holding room that's affectionately called the crate by most people who find themselves arrested near the ports. And you're down there just long enough to see a younger girl, dark black skin, two big puffed up afro puffs that seem to be smudged, and there's mud flakes in sort of some of it. And she's sort of tossed into the holding room with you. And she goes, "Man, fuck you. I ain't even do shit." And she sits down, upset, and then looks at you and goes, "What you in here for?"
Clearly I did nothing. I wanted me to grace this cell with my presence.
Oh, I'm gonna start saying that shit. And you see the door and swing open, waiting for you to enter. Janie, could you describe your character to us, please?
Katie is a average-sized brown-skinned woman who's wearing a cornflower blue gown and fancy earrings. Her hair is done up. She's got fur, I forgot what you call those, like they're shawls, but they have the fur around the sides. Mm-hmm. And she just kind of air of sophistication.
All right. As you stride into the room, the camera watches as the door closes behind.
I smile at the camera and wave to it.
And as that happens, the door closes behind, and the camera rejoins the blonde man who's finished most of his coffee. And you see the door open as a fairly stern-looking woman walks in and says, "Is this that new crew or whatever that's supposedly set up down this way?" And he finishes the cup and says, Yeah, they look like they're gonna be at least a bit of trouble as we see all 5 of our crew members behind the glass, sort of sitting there, reacting as they would. Um, you see the man begin to load this white powder into a very old camera that's set up, and he presses the button that allows you to hear his voice again, and he says, "Say cheese." And there's a loud of powder as the flash goes off, and this picture slowly. Go ahead.
Can I take another shot? I didn't.
Oh, you start, and the guy just sort of looks through the mirror and sort of like, as he's wiping or flicking the Polaroid so that the image slowly becomes clear, and he says, "Yeah, I didn't really catch all of their names, but I think they call themselves the Blue Ghosts." Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone who finds themselves inside or out of the gender spectrum, my name is Dee, and welcome to the first episode of Blue Ghosts, A Date with the Clouds. With me, I have brought only the finest levels of skullduggery and crime that I could possibly find in the Critical Miss Escape. Starting with the person on my left. Nope. Starting with Max. Tell us about yourself. How you doing? Who you playing?
What are
your pronouns?
That's Max. I'm trying out putting the he first. So I guess he, they pronouns. I am happy to be with Critical Misses again. You might know me from the Growing of the Dim last season where I was with Becca. And I play Bishop, who is a little bit past their rubber band snapping for good. And they use they, them pronouns.
Fantastic. Excited. And next to Max, we have the ever lovely Ryan. How you doing, my friend?
What's going on? Ryan, Sphinx. He, him. I'm playing Cull, also he, him. He's a general lurk. Go what you know. And it's gonna be fun.
Fantastic. Lovely. And joining us also at the table, we have the ever lovely Madam Gandalf. Alex, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. It's great to be back in the world of Duskval and doing some Blades in the Dark. And it's also great to be back doing TTRPGs outside of random one-shots here and there as well. So I'm so excited to actually have like a nice like story going and to be able to meet some really cool people along the way. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And then right next to Alex, we have Becca joining us again on the Critical Misses channel. How are you, lovely?
I'm great. I'm here again. I'm Becca. I use she, they, pronouns. It's a process. I'm very excited to be back here. I'm going to be playing Nines, they, them, a cutter that's takes no shit, but causes a lot of it.
Fantastic. And we've already been introduced to the joyous character work of Janie. How you doing, friend?
I am great. I am Janie, and I will be playing Katie. And I forgot what else I was supposed to say because I have a memory of about 2 seconds.
Pronouns.
Oh, both she, they pronouns.
Fantastic. So there is that moment where you're all being booked and the Bluecoats officially open their file on the new crew in Duskval called the Blue Ghosts. But that was a few weeks ago. And in the interim, you all have been notified that you'll be given a mission by a mutual benefactor of you all. The reason that this group and crew has been brought together, you're going to be getting a visit from Tommy Tukench. So the camera pans down to the warehouse that is at 3241 Browning Street. And it pushes into the lair to see the crew. What are y'all doing? How you spend your downtime? I would say that Tommy Two Kench is probably going to be here the next day, the day after this takes place. So how you preparing? If you're preparing.
Honestly, he should be preparing for us.
I don't want to see him.
It's gonna come regardless.
But you're going to have to look at him for at least a moment.
And just because I don't want to doesn't mean I won't. Ugh. It's just bad news.
Ari finally comes out of her room after lots of like giggling, and you just see her kind of stumble out with this. The girl says, "I'll just see you later, honey," and gives her a nice little little flick on the chin before spanking her on her ass as she walks out of the den. Sorry, but
she walks she completely has that heels in the hand shuffle of I'm going to pretend that I don't see you and you don't see me, and she just makes her way out of the warehouse as Ari joins you.
Don't mind me. Did I miss something?
Tom is on his way.
Do we know what he wants this time?
No.
Oh, well, that's
Bishop.
a mood killer if there ever was one.
Yeah.
You are the one who received the message. You answered the door.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom said that he would be coming with work.
Oh. He fucking he mentioned something about work.
Isn't that what we're already doing?
He's never the most specific man in the world. I think we know that by now, but money.
Here's
Hopefully
to
money.
that.
He also didn't mention what time he was coming, so I guess we all sit on our asses until he gets here.
And
Seems
it's around
practical.
then that there's a knock on the door.
Speak of the devil, and here he comes knocking. Ari will hop up, and you hear the heels of the clop, 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 clop as she makes no effort to speed her way over to the door. And grabs the hold of the big rusty handle and swings it open like it's a million tons of weight, even though it's probably a normal ass door. But it's just
Amazing.
oh, you're here.
And standing there, filling the entire door frame from shoulder to shoulder in this large, slick black raincoat, hat in his hand, you see the greased and slicked down hair and the oddly curling mustache that almost floats off of the face of Tommy Two Kench. And he says, "Well, Ari, darling, you're looking just as divine as one could. May I come in?"
Do we have a choice?
No. And he steps in. Well, I'd say you're making pretty good use of the gifts you've been given, Miss Katie.
Well, yes, I always make good use of my gifts. Thank you.
That's good to hear. Good to hear indeed. Nines, how the hell are you?
I'm alive, still here.
That's a good start. And what about yourself, Cole?
Just chilling.
Bishop. Still here, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And you see Tom takes the raincoat off and folds it and says, well, I don't mean to take up you lovely people's time, even though you do owe me quite a bit of it. I just wanted to drop off your first set of official work that I want you to get done here in the city. I believe y'all will be comfortable. Y'all seem to have settled in pretty well.
What is the state?
Yeah, go ahead.
What is the state of our like base right now? Like, how's it looking?
So it's very blue. I think we established that. It's the interior of this lair is adorned with chairs that have blue cushions, blue silverware, blue candles set up on the tables. Everything is like oppressively blue.
Is it also kind of hodgepodge of like furniture that's been thrown away that was blue?
Sorry, I missed
together. Is it kind of like a hodgepodge of blue as well? Like it's all stuff that's been like probably thrown away by other people, but we've collected? Or is that nice done up? Oh.
Because the lair that you all are taking residence in was actually a property that Katie came to own through certain means that she may or may not have revealed to you all. So this is an interior decorated space that is all matching with the same, like, just blue everywhere.
What's Katie's like decoration style?
Well, Katie has this room to coordinate with her outfit. So
perfect.
It's way too fancy almost. Like somebody who just got a bunch of money bought lots of decoration things. And she's got like her outfit goes with her perfectly, her earrings and it looks like a photo shoot room with her in it.
I love it.
Amazing. Amazing. So Tom sort of stands up a bit straighter, and Tom is on the upper end of 6 feet. This man is almost 6'7" if you had to appraise it. And he's wide enough to fill the entire door frame from shoulder to shoulder. And he says, well, now the job that I have for you in particular, I won't pretend that it's the easiest thing in the world, but then again, y'all are all quite capable folk, ain't you? And he reaches into his coat and he pulls out this thing that you've never seen before. It's this circular device. It looks like it's made out of iron with brass bolts, but there's like a blue plate of glass. It almost maybe crystal that's in the center of it. And you see that he clicks a button that's on the underside of the disc. And you see this beautiful, incredibly lifelike image with sort of this blue hue over it appear. And you see this, oh my goodness, the word skyscraper. There you go. This very tall skyscraper elongates up out. You all know that this section of Doskval it's probably the old Tower District. That's where most of the skyscraper-sized buildings are. Over in 6 towers, and you see Tom say, "There's a particular building in 6 towers that I'm gonna need you to appropriate something from, if you could be so kind. It's codenamed the sarcophagus, and it's quite important. That's why I sought to deliver this message myself."
As in, this is a job that if we fail, we die?
Well, you wouldn't die by my hand, but it's a job where the officers are trained to shoot to kill. So I'd be careful.
I don't trust anything named after crypts.
Well, I think I've darkened y'all's doorstep for a little too long. Before I forget, 9321 Shelley Street. That's the address. Best of luck. When you finish with it, just bring it back here and keep it safe, and I'll come by to collect.
Wait, Toucanch. What is it if it's not actually a sarcophagus?
And you see he's putting on his coat and throwing a little scarf over, and he says, "Oh, I have no idea. That's just what they call it. That's y'all's job. You have a good one." And he puts his hat back on and steps out into the rain.
When do you want it?
Let's give you a 10-day.
All right.
And with that, he doesn't even close y'all's door. He just walks down the street.
That's cool. Get up and close the door.
So once again, we're in a position where we have no choice.
Deal's a deal.
And Ari just pours herself a tall drink and does a little look around to everybody else of like any takers sort of look.
I'll take one too.
Blue, 4 blue specials coming up. And she'll just go over to, I can imagine possibly Katie having this, you know that nice stand where it's got like the crystal what is it called? The
Decanter.
Why did I want to be cadanter? Decanter and like those glasses and things like that with the nice bottles put on it. And
yeah.
Would that sound like something Katie has?
She totally has that. It is really over the top, like everything. It's like super heavy crystal. It's all like really expensive top shelf liquors. And everything is covered in gold and silver plating.
Excellent. Yeah. Immediately just
bam. So you all are given 10 days to break into the building on Shelley Street.
Well, we owe him, so we might as well try to deliver. We ought to go stake it out and figure out what the fuck this thing is. How do you ask somebody to steal something you don't even know what it is? That's just what they call it. Ugh.
I'm assuming he knows what it is. He just doesn't want to say.
No, he takes particular enjoyment in my own suffering. That's supposed to be my thing. Not following him, is it?
Other people are talking about it, and he's heard it, so he's interested.
Well, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well. No point in getting caught now.
So, go ahead.
Well, I've never been to this area. Is anybody more familiar than myself?
6
I
hours?
tend to avoid phallic things.
Valid.
I would say that call Katie and Bishop. Y'all would know a bit more about Six Towers. Six Towers is an old, rundown, former noble place. Before the nobles essentially packed up and moved across the bridge to White Crown, where all the most expensive things are. Six Tower used to be the place where nobles and rich folk of the city used to live, but they decided they didn't want to be that close to the stinky poor people, so they decided to go across the North Hook Channel. And so now Six Towers is mostly empty because most people can't keep up with the upkeep of the larger buildings, but there are people who live in Six Towers, and it's not like completely desolate or anything like that. Yeah, so there's some still moderately rich folk that live in Six Towers.
I don't see why anyone lives there. It's just full of people who can't afford to live with the real rich people.
Ah, so it's a clout town.
Piece of shit, just like everything else around here. Just come in different flavors.
So
Right.
we heading over there, seeing what's up. Or did you have
Take
other
a
things
walk around the block.
Let's check out our surroundings, see who's around. Maybe we find a familiar face we can ask a question or two about.
Yeah.
Should we see if we can get to it through our system of traveling through the city?
Are you inviting us into your tunnels, Katie?
I suppose. I mean, we are working together.
I would be delighted.
All right. Katie, go ahead and you know what? Nah, you're not gonna roll for it. You know that one of these channels does lead to Six Towers. You could get to Six Towers, not too close to Shelley Street. You would be on Poe Lane, which is a bit south. But you'd be in the district, so you wouldn't have to cross through Brightstone or Charter Hall. It would take you straight there.
Okay, so she'll lead them that way, but you'll see like where she's like spent time in this tunnel. Even though she's saying Six Towers.
Okay, fantastic.
Sorry, I didn't mean to turn my camera off. She said six. It's like she's got stuff in the tunnel, and she's spent time there. She's gone back and forth a few times, but she's just sashaying past it, like, just hurry along.
And you see like crates of like some small supplies and little ropes of these very small lights, like light bulbs that are just strung along the ground that you sort of have to like step around and over to not kick because they're not flush with the wall. The tunnel doesn't look completely finished. It looks like it was mostly constructed and then progress was halted for whatever reason. And as you're walking, you begin to hear drips of water. And then suddenly the tunnel gets a lot more humid. Like you cross a certain threshold where it gets very humid. And you assume that you're probably under the bridge to Brightstone from the docks. Because eventually the water that's sort of outside causing this pressure and humidity does begin to lessen as you are reaching the end of the tunnel into the district of Six Towers. So now that you're here, you come up out of this tunnel into what looks like a small back closet. And Katie, as you go to open the door to the actual tunnel, which is like this flat panel of wood that slides to the side, you have to take a step back as this large barrel of something sort of tips out and almost starts falling down the tunnel from the incline. But it looks like you've opened this door to a storage room. Katie, you would know that this tunnel pops out in the back of a shop.
Well, don't just stand there. Come this way. The shop right here.
But it's so humid, Katie. My hair's going to be ruined.
Well, then you need to do something about it. I'm not a hairdresser. Let's hurry.
So as y'all exit the tunnel, you see that the shop is dark and empty. Doesn't look like they're open on Wednesdays. But you eventually step out of the shop back onto the street where you can see the drizzling rain that's coming down. It appears to have lightened up a little bit. And you're now in the district of Six Towers. You want to head straight to the address that was given?
Might as well, right?
Might look suspicious. A group of people heading towards there.
Can we like grab a shopping bag from the store that we come out in so it looks like we've been walking around or something like that?
This isn't like a grocery store chain.
Oh.
There's not really anything that would have like a logo or anything on it.
Okay.
Why not blend into the crowd? Meet up in 7 minutes?
You know, I'm actually pretty good at blending, so why not?
You've got this, Bishop.
I don't blend unless it's my makeup.
Yeah.
Everybody has their way of getting around.
Ari will link arms with Cull at that point to lead him off to mingle with the crowd and head towards the area.
Okay. And so you all fragment off and go a extra long way, taking a few extra turns you don't need to make to get to where you're trying to go. Everybody make me a prowl check, just for the hell of it. And for those who don't remember or who are new to the system, Blades in the Dark is a D6 based game. The characters on their character sheets have a certain amount of points in the various skills, and they just roll a number of D6s equal to what they've got.
Oh, wait, what? Wait, so sorry, because this is I'm the newbie here. If you have a dot in the skill, you roll. If you have one dot in the
dot
skill,
you got, you add a D6.
You add it. Okay.
Yep. And then you're going to take the highest roll out of every D6 that you rolled.
Okay.
That's a 4 for Ari.
Okay.
3 for me.
3 for me.
Okay. All right.
Got a 4.
Okay. And Katie?
1 minute, I'm figuring this out.
Take your time. Ba-bum. So, as you each are, we can start with Ari and Cull. As you two are sort of walking through the crowd, Ari, this is pretty easy to you. You know how to be unseen when you want to be. You're flexible in that way. Cull, on the other hand,
I'm very flexible in many ways, darling. It was right there. Sorry.
Cull is used to sticking to the shadows. Cull doesn't really do walking down the main thoroughfare, and it kind of shows. He's kind of like sticking to buildings almost so that he's under the awnings to get like what shadow he can, whether consciously or unconsciously.
He just looks uncomfortable, like just walking along.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ari's like
Absolutely.
linked arms with him, and she's doing like the whole like rubbing his arm and putting her head on his shoulder, like trying to pretend like, oh yeah, you know, they're happy up here, right? They got money, they're happy couples.
Right. And then Nines, you actually really do fit the descriptor of someone who would live in Six Towers. You have
isn't
sort
it?
of with your attire being, you know, nicer clothes that are a little bit in disrepair. You sort of just blend in with the people that are living around here.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep an eye out just to see if I catch anyone that I know, just from around town, since I'm familiar with the area quite well, I believe.
Katie got a 4.
Awesome. So, Katie, you are also you've got that look about you that you're walking through the streets of Six Tower and you don't really seem to be out of place. People would probably assume that like maybe you have something nice coming up, so you're wearing the actual nice clothes that you do have left, and you can get through with no real issue. Bishop, as you're walking along, you see this woman in a dark red, it almost looks like a ball gown. And as you scan her up and down, you see that the ball gown sort of stops like just past the chest. And what looks like this ball gown that's sort of like flowing in the rain, you see that there is a slit right above her breastbone, and it is just pouring blood all the way down this person like a fountain. And it sort of distracts you for a second, and you get someone just bumps into the side of you, and as you stumble for a second, you look up and whoever that was is gone. That was weird.
And that person was walking, like, not like scream for help type deal, like just walking the way I saw
That
it.
person was at a dead stop looking at you.
Oh, great. Nice. Thanks, Dee.
Hey, no problem.
Okay. I'll go ahead and internalize that.
But eventually, the 5 of you do manage to meet up at the bottom of 9241 Shelley Street. And looking outside this building, everybody give me a survey roll. A survey or study roll, your preference.
So, question, as the other new person to the
Yes.
system. If I have no dots in something, hypothetically, what would I do?
So if you have no dots, you would pick 2 dice and then roll roll and take the lower of the 2 results you rolled. But if you would like to step out into the thoroughfare, like more amongst the people and closer to the building, I will add a die to your pool for the trade-off. And that is an offer that applies to everybody. If you'd like to step out into the open as you're observing this building, sort of in like a clear, I'm clearly observing this building manner, you can add a die to your pool.
Yeah, I think that's probably
And
a bad
just let me
idea
know-
for me, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that either.
Okay.
I'm very fortunate. Ari studied in studying. So I got a 5 there. Hopefully.
Okay.
So Katie would study it, but she got a 5, so I don't need the extra die. I don't think.
Awesome. Sounds good. And Cull, what'd you get?
Got a 2.
2? Okay. And then Nines and Bishop?
A 1.
3.
Okay. So as you're all trying to, appraise this building, Cull, Nines, and Bishop, The rain is coming down in a very slick way, and you're all trying to keep yourselves inconspicuous. And it seems people are just passing in front of the tower at odd times, and your angle's not the best, and you can't really pick too much up on the building, except for the fact that it's called the Leonard Church Research Institute. Ari and Katie, however, you all notice that this building is tall. It's a single spire. The ground around the building is, it looks like grass, but it's a weird type of grass. It almost looks fake. Think like football turf. That's what the greenery around the building looks like. And there's not much of it. There's maybe 60 feet of room on each side. And they're enclosed by these raised walls that sort of look like brackets basically around this building. You also notice that there are no windows on this tower. It is just a solid gray stone building all the way straight up. And it's not the highest building in Six Towers, but it's pretty far off the ground. It's upwards of 7 or 8 stories, somewhere around there.
Well, clearly this is a new Revolutionary period tower, so we need to find a way to enter it. And off the table, Katie has no idea what she's talking about, archaeological styles. She's just making some stuff up.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Well, no window, so it won't look like we'll be entering that way. No tunnels, I'm assuming. She looks at Katie. No tunnels.
Well, if they do research, or I guess depending on what it's for, don't they need like a bay? They got to get supplies in through somewhere, and it's probably not the front door.
Ah, we can play delivery man.
Everywhere has access to sewage as well.
That's true.
You could see Ari go yes, but then also realize sewage. Oh.
As a final option, obviously, not the primary option.
Worth noting.
Does it?
It's around this time that you all see. Yeah, what's up? Go ahead.
No, you go. You go.
Okay. You see this young, dark-skinned woman with the hair pulled back into a tight ponytail. And she's got this leather briefcase that she's sort of going through before she pulls out this. It looks like a ball of clay, maybe like the size of the palm of her hand. And she approaches the Institute, and my people who got a high study roll, you see that as she reaches out with the ball of clay, it coalesces into this solid key that turns, unlocks the door. She pushes through it, removes the key, and the door closes again.
Oh, isn't that different?
Can one of you do that? And so we
Do
can
what?
get
Do what?
the key thing.
What key?
They had this clay thing that started off as clay, but as soon as they put it towards the lock, bada bing, bada boom, the door is open.
I've never seen anything like that.
That sounds like some rich people bullshit. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It makes me think of that Newton's liquid stuff. The stuff that when you punch it, it's a solid, but when you treat it nice and gentle, it's a liquid.
You guys can, if you would like to, you can spend as much time as you like staking out this research tower. Just let me know how long you stay in here. But outside of that, they're just people walking by the street. Y'all can do as you like.
We should probably try to walk and talk so it's not like we're standing outside the building gawking for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just all standing by a tower going, yeah.
Ooh,
there
building.
An
Ultra-
alley that goes behind this?
You can take my picture, and it just
You know,
looks like
Nines, super strangely, there's not an alleyway. There's no space wide enough to fit a person unless they were two-dimensional in between this and the back doors. Cole, I would say that you also noticed that as being specifically strange and against the sort of design style of most architects.
I definitely don't want anybody getting in here.
Are there buildings like pushed up against it? Or are they like roughly on the same height?
The buildings that are pushed up against it, the one on the right-hand side is probably about 3 stories high. It looks to be a perfume shop. And the building on the left-hand side is an empty building, from what it seems, that's about 2 stories high. And most of the houses that are not the Sky Reachers in Six Towers have the slatted roof that are sort of, it's all painted this sort of muted gray. When the rich people left Six Towers, a lot of people say that the magic went with them, and everything sort of looks muted and monochromatic here. And you're not sure if that's just a trick of the weather or what, but
Well, there must be people working in there. Maybe we can talk to someone. Maybe persuade them to just let these poor little people in.
or we can go into the empty building and find the entrance. It's probably there.
Given this submission Tommy gave us, I'm pretty sure they get killed if they let anybody in here without permission.
This key thing that you're talking about, it sounds like they don't want people to get in.
Yeah, it's possible that the lock changes and thus this clay shit adapts to that. Trying to make like a bump key won't work.
Well, there's always trying to get in via the second floor, I guess, but there's no windows to climb through.
Did anyone see anything up on the roof?
We haven't gone there yet.
Anyone on
How tall is the roof again?
We've got 7 to 8
the roof of the
stories.
tower,
Yeah.
it's about 7 to 8. Yeah.
I still say we go for the empty building.
No harm in checking it out.
Yeah.
There might be like a delivery quarters sort of area.
Yes, and then we can buy some perfume. I need a few new bottles anyway.
Fine perfume and 7 towers, huh?
Because the humidity just wasn't enough to help with the scent.
It's just a trendy thing. That's
Fantastic.
After
Shall we to
you.
the abandoned building? No.
Indeed.
Well, thank you.
You all make your way into this abandoned building. It's closed and locked, but it's no problem for Nines to force the door open. It's not locked very tightly. And you just see a thick layer of dust and carpentry that is covering the sort of mottled wood floors that are beginning to grow soft almost. There must be a leak somewhere in this, what remains of this old. It looks like it was previously a haberdashery. There are like lots of coats, hooks, and different fabrication tools throughout, and stairs that lead up the stairs to the second floor, which is also primarily empty, but there are 3 wardrobes on the second floor.
I have a question. Can we tell where the leak is coming from if there is a leak?
I would say go ahead and make me a study or survey check.
I know I'm going to be opening some wardrobes.
Okay.
I'm always studying.
Well, I got a 6.
Okay. So with a 6, that is a great success. So you step in and you hear the sound of trickling water coming from back through the back supply area. And as you go back there to investigate it, Nines, you're going through wardrobes. You open one and you see this. It's mostly empty, but behind what sort of dusty, moth-eaten clothes there were left, you see this strange insignia that's sort of like, it almost looks not even carved into the wardrobe with something sharp. It almost looks dug in with something crude and jagged. And the symbol essentially looks like there's a green, there's a yellow dot in the center, and there's what looks like a sickle coming out of one side, and a slightly bowed line, and another slightly bowed line going down. Give me one second.
Oh, I know what you're describing.
Yeah, but we're going to give it to the friends at home. Oh, you can't really see it, but it looks kind of like that. That's kind of what it looks like. And you see that is just etched into the back of this wardrobe.
I'm going to copy it down on something so I'll remember it.
Okay. You just scribble it down on a scrap of paper.
Yeah.
Katie, you go to this back area and just listening to the drips of water, you're following it through the wood, and you see that it goes past the back wall. And you look down and around, and it seems like one of the floorboards underneath it is sort of peeling up and curling because of the water. And you sort of put your hands under it and pry it out of your way. And you see in the back here, there is a spout. There's this metal tube that is pressed into the corner of this home, and it is pouring this dark gray water out into what you can see is probably a pretty deep hole in the earth. But it is full at this current point in time. It's sort of just pumping water out, and that water is leaking throughout the rest of the house.
And it's coming from the building we want to get into.
You can't see where the pipe is coming from, but it is coming. The pipe is jutting from that direction.
Okay, I'm going to turn around and tell everyone else. Again, walk out to tell everyone else what I saw.
Ah, Nines, you were talking about sewers.
Tragically, I was. It's an option, at least. Any of you recognize this symbol? I'll hold it up. It was in one of the wardrobes.
Never seen it before. Actually, I say never seen it before. Ari? Oh, bad timing, D. Ari, you could make an attune roll and tell me what you get. Oh, I think I did pick a bad time to ask Alex something. Sorry. We'll get back to that. We'll say that Ari describes whatever she ends up describing in just a second. But while that happens, you all are shown this pipe by Katie, who you all. There's a weird property to this water. It doesn't strike you as sewage. It's almost like runoff, and it's warm.
Ew.
Also, Ari, you can make me an attune roll after you were shown that image.
I got a 6.
Yay. So Ari, you see this and you feel a pull in your chest toward this image. And it's slight, but it's almost as though something is physically drawing you toward it. And you sort of blink a couple of times and you're not sure that you've ever seen this before.
Let's just be the sphincter in the middle.
Maybe that burrito you had. So yes, you are all looking. I've got to actually put that in my notes. I'm sorry. Okay.
She doesn't
you all
really
are in...
say that. She just thinks it. Yeah, she definitely has that moment of like complete and utter obsession, followed by just shaking it off.
And I'll say that there's also sort of like this lingering queasiness that comes with it.
Maybe that was the taco I ate earlier.
I'm sorry, I don't know if that's another one of your like sex joke kind of things again, or if you actually had tacos earlier.
But
okay, all right. Well.
But I'll take it. Yeah, actually, no. The innuendo's there. Must be the taco I ate.
Fantastic.
Anyway, there's a hole in the ground.
Yeah, there's a hole in the ground that's filled with this strange warm water. What y'all want to do?
Wait, how tall is this building compared to the one next door?
This one's 2 stories. The one next door, the tower, is 8 stories high.
Please don't say we all have to go wriggling up here. Or down there, or around there.
Oh, the pipe is not wide enough for a person to fit.
Oh, okay, good.
This is like a drainage pipe.
But what is the wall made out of?
Just wood.
Fuck it, I'll touch the water.
Okay.
I was going to say, what if you just break the wall? Let's see if we can get through to the other side.
Wouldn't be the most discreet, but I'll do it.
Okay. So you start peeling away. And like I said, this wood is rotted and has had water dripped onto it for who knows how long. So it's very easy to like peel it back board by board. I'll assume that you won't Kool-Aid Man the whole wall down.
Immediately.
But when you make yourself this sort of makeshift window, you see that you are now on the backside of the tower. And you see the backside looks quite different from the front side of this tower. From the backside, you can see this long zigzagging drainage pipe that connects into this house. You can see a window for each floor, and you do confirm that there are 9 floors, and one of them does not have a window. It is the window second from the top. Where that window would be, there isn't one. You also hear the low puttering of a generator, just like the low chugging of this steam engine of some kind. And you also see these 2 gray iron like basement hatch doors. And the wall is shorter on this backside, but not But the wall is still there, but it is shorter from this direction. And immediately, as you look to the other side where the tower is, you can see why. There is a steep drop off from where the sort of fake green turf grass ebbs away, and where the wall stops, it just drops. It almost looks like this drop has been like carved out. It's like weirdly straight down.
So the building extends downward a good bit.
You can't make out the building itself extending downward, but considering the basement door hatches and the fact that you know there is room, maybe. You don't know how far down though.
Can Ari drop something down there and maybe do some math as far as the sound of the drop?
Sure. You can grab a rock and just let it drop down there. It sort of ting, 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 and disappears down into the depths of this tunnel. And you wait. And you wait. And then sploosh.
Well, that was deeper than I expected.
Ari can make me a study roll.
Three.
Okay. With a 3, you don't know exactly how far down this goes, but it's not the kind of drop you would want to make.
I think this goes almost as deep as it is tall. Like a thick root of a tree.
Wonderful. Well,
It would help if we knew the layout of this place.
and which floor this thing is on?
Probably the one without windows.
I still wonder if there's a worker we can talk to. I think they could be easily swayed with a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of something that maybe excites the senses.
That might help.
So, team,
Mm.
I would like to offer you a devil's bargain right now.
Oh gosh.
For those who don't know, this is one of the more fun systems of Blades in the Dark, and I'm extending certain parameters of it. If you give me a fortune token, like essentially, I'll give you some credit. If you want to run into a person who would be at least willing to hear you out, all you got to do is accept the devil's bargain. And it's sometime in the future of this episode, we'll resolve that. We'll see what you traded it for. And that is up to the team. But who knows? If you wait long enough, someone might walk out. I'm not saying that won't
if
happen.
this is a democratic process, but I'm going to vote against Devil's Bargain for this. And here's why. Even if we get someone who's willing to hear us out, like, first, how does that situation even happen? Like, we're looking to rob them. Like, we don't have another solution to get inside. We don't even know what we're looking for, really, or what we're talking about. And even if they can help us, like, what extent will they go to, like, at the risk of their own job? And then we get screwed over because the devil. So that's my call.
Valid.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If anyone would quite literally like to be the devil's advocate, now would be the time.
Yeah, I guess I'm wondering, is it an individual that has to deal with the devil's like gambit, or is it the whole of us will have to.
Oh,
If
it would.
only one
Anything
person-
offered to the group of you will it'll happen to the group of you.
Okay, then knowing it's a group thing rather than an individual thing, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay without that.
We
Okay.
still have other routes we can explore for the moment.
All right, that is a majority no. So, y'all, forgive me for interrupting. You were saying. Hopefully, someone comes out. I believe it was Nines that was saying that.
We could wait for someone to come out. We could see what these hatches are. We could try to get through one of these now out here windows.
Do we even know what these people research? Like, what is this place?
Church.
No idea. It says Dr. Leonard Church Research Institute.
People research churches, right? Or is that a name?
Not me. But...
This is Doskwell. Who knows what the hell they're researching in there?
Well, maybe I have found where I need to specialize. I'll go and scurry around the market, hear what gossip I can hear about what on earth they're studying in here. Maybe we can find some way in via that.
I think I know somebody who might be able to help with the floor plans,
Absolutely.
depending
Besides,
on what
I'm
kind
sure
of
one
place
of
this
the
is.
workers. Oh, sorry.
No, depending on what kind of place this is, they might be able to help.
Agreed. And when we be one of the workers, when they get out and need a place to go, maybe there's somebody following in the shadows and we find out what they get up to.
I think we could pull that off.
Agreed.
Definitely.
All right. So,
Do-
Ari is. Go ahead.
Do we want to cover this hole that we've created? Since now
Probably.
we've created a hole that looks into their kind of secret area.
Is it something we can move in front of it?
There's
the
wardrobes.
wardrobe?
There are wardrobes.
You know,
It's like
if they're
that
worried
one
about the hole, they would have not had wood rotting from whatever liquid is dripping from their research facility.
Because the pipe that continues to the research facility, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So y'all slide a wardrobe over top that hole that was made in the wall.
Just like that one book.
Okay. And then Ari is going to get gossip about the Research Institute. Is anyone going with Ari? Okay, so Ari's going to gather gossip.
Katie will
and
go.
then, okay, Katie goes with Ari. Gotcha. And then Cole, you're going to go see a contact about blueprints.
Yeah, he's gonna go see Petra, the clerk.
Okay. Is anybody going with Cole to Petros?
I can go with you if you want an extra set of hands.
Sure.
All right. And then so Nines is going to shadow the
Nine-
person whenever someone presumably
Yeah.
comes out of a research institute. Awesome
Yeah.
sauce. Sounds fantastic.
Eating my turkey.
All right.
One of the few times in D&D where we're like, yes, let's split up the group.
Let's split the party. They did this to themselves, chat. I don't want to hear it. So let's start with Ari and Katie, the dynamic duo, the fabulous queens. You are surveying, trying to get some information on gossip. Go ahead and make me. What kind of roll do I want this to be? I will say, let's make it a sway roll from the both of you.
And it's the highest one we get, yeah?
Yep, you take the highest number.
Thank goodness, because there was a one.
Unless I
Five.
don't have any dots in it, correct?
That is correct.
So 5 for Ari.
Okay. And Janie, what did Katie get? So with a 5 from Ari, Ari, if there's anything you are good at, it is getting information out of people in a timely manner. How does Ari come across this information with Katie in tow?
I feel like Ari would drag Katie into an overly large conversation, like an overly loud conversation about something near a group of people that we think might have some sort of inkling, and like, oh yes, I mean that tower. They've owed me so many deliveries for so long now, and goodness knows what they're doing up there, what research they're actually getting up to. I've invested thousands of my coins, and
Truly, you've also not received your packages from the Research Institute.
Oh no, darling, they've been 7 days late. And Ari, with her stopwatch on her as always, is just like, and I'm a woman of very timely means.
Well, aren't we all? I mean, I have things that I need those packages for.
Time is
just
money.
Keep things up there. I have half a mind to start a class action lawsuit. I can tell you that much.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, if you don't mind me prying, what are
Getting
you,
a bit
what
ridiculous.
Are you waiting for?
Oh,
So,
well, honey, go ahead. Yes.
Katie got a 2. Well, she got 6, and then I had to roll twice because I don't have any dots, so it was a 2.
Gotcha. So you're kind of like, Ari jumps into and on top of this conversation so fast that you just don't really get a chance to chime in too well enough to get any information. That doesn't mean you can't talk. It's just narratively, it's what happens with the role. Yeah, so the person responds and says, oh, darling, only the best of all the designer cuts. What are you waiting on?
I mean, you must have read my mind. Clearly another person of fine, exquisite taste. It just simply will not do.
We're so few
really
and far
should...
between.
I'm tempted, like you are, to reach out to the authorities.
I have fine.
Go ahead.
I have fine taste, just like both of you.
Absolutely. I mean, and Ari at this point is just going to absolutely gas up Katie. I mean, look, could you ever imagine such more refinery than this wonderful person before your eyes? And they're letting this down and not providing them with the hard and well-paid goods that we have been searching for. It's ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous.
Yes, to say the least. Well, you two lovely ladies, I'm having a bit of a soiree get-together at my place. I don't think I recognize you two around Six Towers, but if you'd like to come get acquainted with only the cream of the crop, we do have what's left of my current order of fireflies. And God knows, maybe we'll get lucky and my package will arrive during the party.
Oh, well, you are incredibly generous. Might I get your address so that we may hopefully show up as soon as possible?
Oh, of course. It is 652 Allen Road. It's going to be north and right past the butchery.
Oh, well, what a splendid spot.
Yes. Well, I must be going. And she pops out a fan and starts fanning herself as she walks away, just muttering to herself. So the both of you would know what fireflies are. Fireflies are a powder-based drug that has recently hit the streets of Doskval, and it is it's an experience. Ari, you have a friend who almost overdosed on fireflies. And there's something off about the drug, and most people who traffic it do acknowledge that. There's a weird amount of demand from an interesting clientele, because not everyone who takes the drug once becomes addicted to it. It only seems to stick on certain people. It's weird.
You've gotten us involved with an addict.
We've gotten ourselves involved with somebody with information, and we now know what on earth that building is now making. Of course, it's going to be something where those of us in the lower quells are doomed to suffer, but those in the upper are doomed to enjoy.
So we need to stop it because...
Oh, I don't say we have to stop it.
Well, I did.
Fair dues.
And with that, the camera shifts away from Ari and Katie momentarily and over to Cull and Bishop. You said you wanted to talk to Pietro, yeah?
Pietro.
I believe that he is in the night market.
Okay.
So it is not a far stop. What kind of shop does Pietro run?
Pietro's a clerk for the city.
It is up to y'all. Okay.
I guess typical office building kind of place. Lots of papers.
All right.
Scattered around. Probably old too.
Gotcha. So as you approach this semi-rickety older building, you make your way up the stairs. The front desk is completely empty, and you knock on like the stained glass of Pietro's office door, and he goes, "Hey, give me a minute, all right? Jesus. All right. Welcome to the Broken Claw. How can I? Oh, it's you. Come in. Come on.
How's it going?
Oh, I mean, you can't get a good fucking cup of coffee around here to save your goddamn life. I can tell you that much." And he picks up what looks like a 3/4 of the way full cup of coffee and just bangs it and puts the empty cup down. So what do you need? What do you need? What are you looking for?
I need your help with a building.
Okay, all right. We building one, we bringing one down, you're breaking into one. What are we looking for here?
Look for floor plans. Building in 6 towers.
And you see he starts flicking his fingers through. Let me go ahead and make a minion roll. Y'all are, again, it gives this minion a +1, I believe. Yes. Okay. I got him right here for you. And you see he pulls out this envelope after you give him the address. And he goes, looks like it, shit. And he flips it open and he goes, looks like it was constructed back in 6 Towers heyday. It's been around for about 50, 75 years. It looks like it was originally built to be a praise and worship center or something. What are you looking for inside of a church?
Be honest with you, Pietro, I don't know. It's one of those things.
Sake, bro.
It's one of those things we'll know when we see it.
Was wondering what the fuck they praise and worship for 8 floors.
And you see he sort of flips through and he goes, looks like it used to be devoted to something called Charlieism. I'm not sure about that. But it was sold off about 25 years ago to a Dr. Leonard Church. And he turned it into a research institute, it looks like. Oh man, we got all sorts of, and you see he starts flipping through receipts of deliveries, sort of dockets, information that he's not supposed to have, but things like things that were delivered and installed within there, like build orders. And you see that they installed a large couple of 50 drum gallon containers they ordered. They installed various heating elements. They installed several of these small, I can't think of the word, almost grimoire-like, but steampunk technology based. It looks like they're researching technology of some sort based off of all of the things that they're bringing in to join us. Raiders, welcome in to the inaugural episode of Blades in the Dark Blue Ghost. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Vancouver by Night, for that rate. But that's about what you see for the interesting bits in this folder.
Is there a floor plan in there, Petra?
Yeah, you got one right here. It looks like you're going to be looking at 9 floors. The 8th floor looks like it's called something called a Detention Center. I don't know what they keep in there, but listen, if you're looking to get into this building, I've noticed this one. We've had to come in and do a lot of work up there multiple times throughout the years. They got like around the clock guard patrol, man. I don't think you should go in there trying to figure stuff out.
That's what I'm trying to be prepared. But you know how it is. It's one of those things you can't turn down. One of those kind of jobs.
Have you told Petro about your deal with Kench?
No.
Okay. He just sort of nods and goes.
It's just one of those things you hear about in the world, like one of those deals you can't turn down.
Right. Well, hey, best of luck. Be safe. And tell that Ari girl if she's ever thinking of expanding her services. But I got a couple of friends who might be interested if she wants to start working out at more than just that place down over in the port city, okay? Oh shit, Bishop, when'd you get here?
We exchanged words not but 2 minutes ago.
No shit. Huh. Hey, while you're here, do you mind if you grab me another cup of coffee? It's just that pot is right behind you.
I'm gonna look at him for a long moment, and then I will pour his coffee.
Thank you so much. You're a dream. He takes it and he drains the entire cup in one gulp again and says, all right, now get the hell out. I gotta get this stuff going. Got work to do.
Thanks, Petra. Appreciate you. And he'll place a coin on a desk as he walks out.
Hey man, you be careful in that call, all right?
I'll try, you know.
He pockets the coin as the door closes behind you, and the camera will shift once more over to Nines.
I'm just waiting.
Indeed. Go ahead and roll me to study.
Oh, I'm so good at that.
Or you can roll to hunt if you're better with hunt.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds good.
I got a 2.
Okay. So with a 2, as you're waiting and waiting and waiting, the sun eventually goes down. It's full on nighttime at this point. No one has come in and out of this place. Becca,
Hey, what's up?
can I offer you a deal, my love?
What are you offering me?
If you give me one of your fortune points, quote unquote, because I don't think there's actually no fortune is a fucking thing.
Sure, I don't know. I don't know the system.
Sorry, I'm getting all my games are clumping up into one big fucking TTRPG mess at the moment. Apologies.
I'll give you anything.
I will have an interaction happen at the door that you will be able to intercede in and talk to a person that is attempting to enter and or exit the tower. And, we'll resolve what happens for that later in the session. And this deal is just for you. So
something bad will happen to me?
Whatever the fallout is will only affect you.
Good, I'm down.
Okay.
We gotta have one, right?
At least. Just as you are trying to, just as you're thinking maybe you should bail on this stakeout because nothing has happened for upwards of 5-ish hours, you see a young man with a tie that's sort of like a little loose around his neck that he's trying to fold with his leather, sort of like those collapsible briefcases sort of pinched in between his teeth as he's trying to tie it. Glasses sort of smudged. He approaches the door hurriedly, and you see him pull out, now that you know to look for it, another one of those lumps of clay. And when he leans it towards the door, it turns into a key. He sticks it in, and it doesn't turn. He tries it a couple of times, and he goes, God fucking damn it. And he starts slamming on the door loudly, looking around as he does so. And he goes, Can somebody please just come let me in? This fucking thing's not working again.
Well,
and he keeps
slamming
the door.
The damn
and so
door
eventually, the door opens, and you see the same woman that you saw earlier enter the building. She leans out and goes, Would you get off of the fucking door, you idiot? Is anyone on the street? And you sort of lean back into the shadows as the question is asked. And the guy goes, No, all right. Listen, Jesus. I was 15 minutes late, and I guess it already changed over, so my key didn't work. Thank you. And he sort of like tries to like move past her, and she goes, If your key doesn't work, you have to wait out here until I get you a new one. Give it to me. And he goes, Jess, I'm already late. Are we really about to do this right now? Like, the door's open. Just let me in. And he goes, I'm not losing your job. I'm not losing my job for you. And she takes the piece of clay out of his hand and disappears back into the tower. And you see that he sort of turns and goes, For fuck's sake. Sort of tosses his briefcase on the ground and is posted up on the wall outside of the tower.
And he's just lounging there now, just waiting. Just kind of like vibing there. Just waiting for the woman to come back. Okay.
Yep.
I'll kind of like do like I am like fake. I like, do a loop. So like, it looks like I'm just like walking by for the first time. Does he look like he like belongs in this neighborhood? Just like from the rest of the
money wise, not really. Not really. He sort of looks a little disheveled. This looks like a working class person who works in an upper, like he's a bit above his pay grade as far as the surroundings. He probably couldn't afford a house up here.
Yeah. I'll kind of like walk by and get like almost past him and be like, and stop and be like, question for you, kid. You work there?
Yeah. Why?
I lived here my whole life, and then this place got bought. And what do they research?
Oh, listen, I'm not really supposed to talk about work. It's non-disclosure agreements and stuff like that.
Right.
You get it. Yeah.
Right, yeah, corporate bullshit that they're making you sell your soul to.
Hey,
are you a little
you
slave
said
to
it,
them?
not me, right? Okay. Let's calm down a little bit. I do whatever I want, let's be honest, but gotta be able to afford stuff as well. So
what, you don't think I can keep my mouth shut?
who are you?
I'll extend my hand. Denim. I'll kind of almost scowl as I say it.
He'll take your hand and shake it and go, look, if you gotta know, my name's Carol, and we're researching technology. We're advancing stuff. Gonna make
really
everybody's
cool.
lives a lot better. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like better Leviathan ships, better guns.
Oh no. We're doing ground level improvements. I'm talking like lights that you can carry in your hand, portable phones, maybe even like, do you know what an abacus is?
That's the thing you do math on.
Right. Imagine if there was a smaller version of that at like the size of a carton of cigarettes that you could put any calculation into, even the most difficult ones, and it'll do it yourself. Telling you.
That'd be remarkable. I wouldn't have to do any math anymore. Hate math.
Yeah. Well, you don't look like you were the most well learned.
All right. That's a bit fair.
Oh, and then don't even get me started on the actually I think I might be talking a bit too much.
Oh really? Just friends have a little chat.
Go ahead and make me a sway roll.
Okay. Okay. That's gonna be a 4.
With a 4, you see that he hesitates heavily for a second. And you can tell that he's almost considering saying nothing. And he goes, well, if you gotta know, I am I can kind of do magic, right? It's one of the things that they brought me on board with. And we have a whole department 8H, that's dedicated to blending the two together, technology and magic. I want to call it Arcanotech, but no one ever listens to me.
I mean, I know very little about magic, but I think the word Arcanotech sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I think it would be good marketing. It's like approachable. It's kind of like got a fun like sound when it comes out of your mouth.
Carol, you see the door is open and the woman is standing there. And Carol like flushes red a bit and picks up the briefcase and goes, good talking to you. And he rushes inside the tower. And as he goes past the woman, she stares at you, and she's got these dead, cold blue eyes that just stare at you.
I'll just stare right back.
The door. And as she closes the door on you, Nines and all the rest of the blue ghosts reconvene to the docks and your secret lair outside of 3241 Browning. And you see, anyone who does take the front door, you see that there's someone waiting outside of it. There's this sort of shorter man, like 5'5", probably, with this white hair pulled back into a spiky ponytail and these circle-rimmed glasses and cold silver eyes. That turns and says, "Oh, perfect. I was wanting to talk to you." And that's where we're going to take our break for the session, I believe. While we go on this break, I suggest and recommend all of you out there get you some water, get up, stretch. We're going to do the same, do some bios, and we'll be back with the second part of Blue Ghosts in just a bit. See you soon. and welcome back to the Critical Misses channel for the second half of Blue Ghost. Thank you all so much for joining us. Last we left, the crew was reconvening with, or at, their lair by the docks, and there seemed to be someone waiting outside of the front door for them. And so this 5 foot tall, 5'5" man with shock white hair, and a raincoat and these very thick leather gloves on, sort of extends a hand to whomever would be toward the front of the pack. Let's say that it's Ari, and says, "It's a pleasure to finally make you all's acquaintance."
Huh. You're running a little late, aren't you?
And you are...
Excuse me. I forget my manners. My name is Kabuto. Pleasure. I'm here on behalf, well, not on behalf of, but more so in association with Mr. Kane Richardson. And you all know that Kane Richardson is the leader of the Comortons, one of the big three crews that have a major stake in Duskwall.
Ah, of course. Thank you for meeting up with us today.
Yes, naturally. I just wanted to see if you all were hungry. Have you eaten? My treat.
I mean, I'm always famished.
Yes.
I mean, if you're treating, then...
I can eat.
Of course. Let's get some lobster rolls, fresh out of the water. Sound good?
I'm on a diet.
All right.
Well, I'm certain we can accommodate. And he sort of tightens the coat around him and says, "Shall we walk and talk?"
Of course.
What would be the point
Well.
of walking if there could be no talking?
Indeed. I thought I'd like you. Well, as you know, the Comortons did take steps to ensure that you could properly utilize the space that you'd be taking up as you entered the town. And I just wanted to sort of expound upon that and offer my services personally. I appreciate the type of work that you all are doing, and I wanted to make a couple new contacts, hopefully.
Well, get on with it.
And so what... You can tell that, like, Bishop, like, is not the talker and is just, like, that one picture of Spider-Man. So we don't need to beat around the bush and all that. Because we appreciate a friendly face at our door, but what is it that you're really trying to... What's up, dude?
As I said, I simply wanted to introduce myself and offer my services. I'm a bit of a doctor. If any of you need to be stitched up, or if you know someone that's in need of surgery, I would be someone that you could call on, perhaps, to
What
sort
are
of
your
establish a
credentials?
rapport. My credentials? Oh, I'm a doctor at the. I don't think you would have heard of it.
Try us.
Try me.
It's called the Levation Institute. It's outside of Duskwall.
Never heard of it.
I'm going to assume, Dee, that this isn't where the doctor that's on, like, my sheet that I know practices.
No. You've never heard of the Levation Institute.
Sounds fancy.
Anyone can write down something on a piece of paper.
That is true.
What the fuck is
Few people
Levation?
could get it. Levation, it was the name of the founder. But fewer people could get such things notarized by the king himself. And you do see that at the bottom of his doctor's license, there is the signature of the now deceased former king of the territories of Skulandia.
How'd you get a dead man to sign it?
I'm going to lean to Call and say, I think he's an actual doctor.
I've been a practicing doctor for about 15 years.
Don't
Youngest
be
graduate
obvious.
institute ever had.
I don't require any doctor right now.
Yes, Mr. Richardson said that you were a woman of business. My apologies if I'm wasting your time, Madam Katie.
Oh, you certainly are.
Well, I just wanted to extend our spheres of influence to include each other. We're all playing the same game here in Duskfall, at least people in our realms of business. But simply because we're not on the same team doesn't mean we have to be enemies. God knows Duskfall has enough of those.
True.
With that,
And
I
there's
can
too many a
certainly agree.
dishonorable thief.
Bishop, what were you about to say?
Oh, I didn't realize I muted myself. I said, with that, I can certainly agree.
And he takes out this small business card and slides it over to Nines and says, that's the address of my practice. If you go there and ask the woman working the desk for me, just mention that you're associates for my after-hours activities, and she'll get you to me in a orderly manner.
Of course.
Before he leaves,
Yeah.
Colo call out. Does your work only involve putting people back together? Do you
No.
do much of the opposite?
No, it does not. You'll find that I'm a very useful contact to have in your back pocket.
I like where your mind goes, Carl.
So do we have our own cards that we can hand him, like a blue card?
I will say that Katie specifically, you absolutely do.
I'm just gonna
Like 100%. Business cards would have definitely been on Katie's list of things to get made, and he will pluck it from your hand, and it just disappears beneath the heavy raincoat.
Is it blue?
It is blue and it is scented.
Oh, what's the
Amazing.
scent?
Violets.
Okay.
Perfect.
God.
Love this.
And with that, the man, Dr. Kabuto, will make his way. I will also say that when he showed you all the license, you did see that his last name is Oleander.
Well, he took forever to leave.
And yeah, you all are left with free lobster rolls and Katie, whatever you would have ordered off of the menu.
Katie ordered salad, but she's like grabbed a lobster roll somehow. She's not really on a diet.
Fantastic.
Just pretend the butter isn't there.
It's like butter.
A little butter never
Right,
hurt anybody.
no! It's just a gloss, a natural gloss the lobster has. I'm with you. Healthy, fresh fish from the sea, or shellfish from the sea. And Ari just agrees and takes a big, like too big of a bite.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And with that, the night is y'all's. If you have any last things you want to do in the, it's like full on night at this point. It's about like 11 p.m. encroaching on midnight. If there's anything else y'all would like to do,
Clubbing.
no.
Could put together what we learned.
Yeah, trade information.
Yeah, we should probably talk. Yeah.
At a nightclub, right?
Yeah, while
No.
we're dancing, obviously.
While we're dancing at the nightclub, we're going to say, so we're going to go and do this, right? Like just yelling over the music.
And I can yell as I'm like dancing on the bar.
Amazing. Absolutely, of course. All right. So after a rowdy night of information sharing between friends, you all managed to pass the first day. You guys have 9 more days. I'll say at this point about like 4 to 5 days pass. You've got inside of a week now, and you can all have spent that doing anything you would like, whether it's pertaining to the job or not. Is there anything specific that anyone would like to mention?
I mean, do we want to kind of discuss what our plan is with this information that we've gathered?
Yeah, we should
do
figure
that
out
before
what
we
we're
make any
gonna
other
do.
moves. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I think we can definitely discuss what we've discussed over the last few days and what kind of progress we think we've made over the last few days.
Because we have a blueprint now, right?
Yeah.
I think that whatever this thing is, it's probably hiding in that weird magic department, 8H.
Yeah. And it's going to be hard to get in. It sounds like they change the keys pretty frequently.
And this round of clock security.
Yeah.
But who's the person who makes the keys? If we find the person who makes the keys, we may have access to the daily changes.
Yeah, but they're weird. They might make them internally.
That is true. So, who wants to get a job in a weird church tower?
We still have the way in through the doors at the back.
Yeah.
It's just we don't know what the guard rotation is.
Right.
What's his name said it's heavy though? Pietro? Pierre?
Yeah, Petra.
What a guy he is.
It's reliable.
And we
though.
also have our contact at 652 Allen Road, who is looking at suing them from the outside. This could always draw out a bit more attention from the inside, if we get to convince them to go forth.
You met someone on Allen Road.
They apparently were looking for their product of... My mind is blanking because...
Fireflies?
Firefly.
That's the one, fireflies.
When's that party you got invited to?
I believe it's tonight.
Well, obviously
I
we
say
can't
this
heist and we have to
only-
party.
Do you all have anything to wear to this party?
Of course I have something to wear to the party.
What's wrong with what I'm wearing? She says while she's basically in lingerie with a long trench coat.
Dramatic Chimera, thank you so much for the raid.
But you, I mean, you could wear that, but I don't know if it fits in with this crowd.
This pains me.
Makeover sequence.
Immensely.
I love the outfit. You can wear it all.
But
I don't think that'll
But-
be necessary at the party.
No, for sneaking around and doing sneaky shit while we socialize.
I don't think I'll need a suit for that.
Maybe a uniform.
Oh, so now you're not going to wear that. It looks nice. It just okay, a uniform.
Oh no! For me, I'll wear what I'm going to wear. Okay, Katie, we'll discuss things. But Carl, How about if you go in via the worker route, we'll go in via the socialite route. I'm sure together we can hand off bits of information that will help us get up to a higher tier or a higher story of the tower.
Assuming clients have access, but yeah.
I'm sure their
Clients
money
at
can
least have
demand some.
more information than we do.
All right. So, go
What's
ahead.
Not my favorite thing to do anymore, but we want to really talk to these people and see what they're looking at. I can play lawyer.
Ari's eyes lighten up of like role play.
We should
I
go
think
to my closet.
if we work together for like any amount of time, I think all of you would know that Bishop used to be an actual practicing lawyer.
I love it when you use big words.
We need to go to my closets.
Is that gonna be all right with you?
I got a suit that might fit you, Cole. We'll be fine.
Come on, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. We can look at all of our stuff.
He's asking Bishop, is that all right with you? Being a lawyer.
I gotta get what Tukench wants done. I don't have a choice.
Look, that's all fine and dandy, but we should change our clothes and put makeup on and do our hair.
I'm not wearing more makeup.
Okay, we'll take some off of you.
Bishop's mascara is like 5 days old. Like, it's just been...
We'll take some off of you, and we'll
Hey.
If you just
come
keep
on,
layering it on.
You can almost hear the lashes going scrap, scrape.
Exactly.
Katie is desperately trying to get a makeover to happen. Like,
Is it a tabletop if there isn't a makeover/shopping montage? No.
It's true.
Who's
So
working on commission? Who can we yell at?
across those the next 4 or 5 days, you all attend the parties, and Bishop, you do go playing the lawyer role. I'm going to say that because of the planning of this, y'all are going to get plus 1d to all your pulls forward in the rest of the gathering stage for your gathering of information. So any roll, y'all got a bonus die to your pools, so long as it is related to this job. The information you learn is interesting. On the socialite side, you learn that the Dr. Leonard Church Research Institute was not originally given that name. Supposedly, when they first bought out the building, the sign on the front said Matrix. And that was changed in the middle of the night to the Dr. Leonard Church Research Institute. The socialites also reveal that the doctor in question is a Leviathan ship captain that has retired, which is not a common thing for someone that runs and is in possession of a Leviathan ship to do. But apparently one voyage he went out and he came back a man believing deeply in the marriage between science and technology. He's a talker and has a tendency to explain what he's working on, even if no one really asked. He's one of those people at parties who's just like not getting the hint that we don't really want to hear about work right now. Yeah, that's the biggest nuggets of information you get on the socialite side.
Oh, Captain,
Cole,
my Captain.
you are attempting to get a job into this research institute. So I will say, go ahead and roll me sway. Or,
Wait, me?
yeah.
I thought it was for the party.
Oh, there's no security at the party. If you all show up looking the part, there's no resistance of y'all getting in.
Yeah, Cole doesn't have much faith on getting a job at the institute.
Okay, for sure.
But if
Sound-
only if the group wants like him as the inside man, I guess.
That's up to y'all. I was misinterpreting what the plan was, so that is up to you all. But outside of the party, Nines. While you're at this party,
Hi. Oh no.
you see a remember that devil's bargain thing? You see this you all see what essentially looks like a feminine or AFAB at the very least version of Nines, dressed in this very bright, almost like bubblegum pink, sparkling ball gown dress. That's the word. You see that she's sort of going around and talking. And
It's really good for her. Yeah, it's great.
Isn't it
I love
great?
that.
It's
Mhm.
isn't it
I
great
love
for
that.
her?
I
And
love
then,
it here.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm also going to say that go ahead and roll me. I'll give you one roll.
Oh, great.
Just roll me a flat d6 and tell me what you get as she begins making her way over toward you.
Wait, question.
Yes.
Is bubblegum pink Nines' color, or is it like completely horrible looking?
I'm not worried that. God, no. I got a 5.
Okay. With a 5, there's a moment where she is walking past you arm in arm with a man that you don't recognize, and she very clearly sees you, locks eyes, and doesn't even break her speech and just walks past you.
Cool party. Love it. Fun time.
That is so not your color.
And I'm not wearing it. Thank God. It's not the look.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you totally look a million times better. I can't believe somebody came here wearing your face.
Yeah.
Ari will immediately start fixing the hair. Like, that's more like it. That's a bit more you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and with that, unless anyone has anything in particular they wanted to do inside the party, it's a pretty. It looks like a party that was thrown by someone who's trying to seem rich more so than someone who actually is. The silverware isn't like fine. They seem to have the money's definitely in certain places. The food, the drinks, the entertainment are all upper class, but some of the accoutrements are sort of like left to falter to sort of feed into those bigger things.
The silver is fake.
Of course it is.
Bishop takes like a fork and like bites it to see. Shit. Tosses it on the table.
Perfect. And it's around then that Nines, you feel an arm slip under yours. And
Hello.
Marlene rests her head on your shoulder and says, Well. Been so long since I've seen you.
Never long enough, is it?
And the eyes flick over to Ari, and she says, Do you mind if I steal them for a bit?
As long as you promise to return them unscathed.
Ooh, and she just starts walking away with you in tow.
I will.
So,
So,
Nines,
yes.
how long have you been hiding in plain sight?
Hiding in plain sight in which way? Going to a party? I feel like that's not really hiding.
You haven't attended one of these parties in probably the better part of 2 decades. Why are you here?
Why shouldn't I be?
Because you hate being in places like this. At least that's what you told me.
Maybe I've had a change of heart in recent days.
Really?
Mm.
And who's changing your heart nowadays? Is it that lovely, gorgeous woman that I stole you from?
I don't know if you're in the place to ask who changes my heart nowadays.
Don't be bitter.
Oh.
It's so droll.
Oh, right, sorry. This should be one of the conversations we have while we're doing a dramatic dance on the ballroom floor or something. One of those kind of, dramatic moments, like in all the stories.
It is hilarious that you believe you can dance well enough for that moment to not fall apart. Listen,
It could just be sway.
I just wanted to impart some information on you because one of us isn't holding a grudge.
My
But
apologies. I will listen.
Albrecht was seen with some river spawn. And you might want to do something about that.
Yeah. Did you?
Don't get me wrong. The little birds are quite adept at what they do, really. They must take after their older sibling, but you don't want him getting mixed in with that.
Definitely not. I'll see what I can do.
Be sure you do it quickly. And she takes your drink out of your hands and goes back to socializing.
I'll walk back to everyone else. I'm alive.
So what's our plan here?
Leave, preferably, as soon as possible.
I will say that this conversation takes place after you've smooged the woman of the house for the information.
Then I'd say Ari is most likely not there. She's probably disappeared to do her one of her vices, which is pleasure.
God's bless.
Hence the nightclubbing sequence in between, you know.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
of course.
So, a few days after the party, I'm going to need. I'm so sorry. Let me just double check here. So this is about, like I mentioned before, this is about 4 or 5 days after the party. So you've got about 5 days before Tom wants the thing to drop into his lap. I need my scribe and my void to roll me a d20. Tell me what you get.
D20, let's go.
D20,
I don't want that one.
yes.
Does this one roll good usually? Oh! Natural 20.
Okay.
15.
15. Alrighty then. So Bishop, it is early on this sort of misty morning. Where does Bishop live? Do you live in the lair? Do you have your own private space?
When I think about Bishop now kind of lives like a teenage mutant ninja turtle. They don't eat well or often. They don't take care of themselves. I think probably most nights they sleep on the couch in the lair.
Okay. You are having a hard time sleeping. And eventually you keep having this dream of running from something. But every time in the dream you trip and you fall through darkness and fall and fall. And when you land with a running start and immediately begin running until you trip again, and etc., etc. And one time you fall and you feel a drip in the center of your forehead that makes you sit up bolt right on the couch. And sitting next to you is a very pretty woman that is dressed in a red wedding gown with a this big frock of red hair, very pale skin splashed with freckles. And she looks at you and says, "I'm sorry, did I startle you?"
I'm gonna scoot over all the way to the end of the couch. Am I awake? Or no? Or is this like the second part?
I think you're awake. I'm fairly certain. I
Okay.
I just wanted to apologize a bit. I'm not used to people being able to see me, and I think I scared you the other day.
Oh, I just thought that you were foggy brain. What do you mean other people can't see you?
I walk by people on the streets and no one can see me. I touch doors and pass through them. Sometimes I touch people and pass through them. It's sort of a condition I have.
I'm gonna like put my hand up.
And she reaches towards you, and you feel the coldest, clammiest feeling as the hands slowly poke through yours and slide down out of your wrist.
You said you can walk through doors?
Yes, that's how I got in here.
Aside from how much I hate that, or everyone's just gonna think I'm talking to myself, so that's fine. You free today? You got plans?
I haven't had plans in a long time, I guess.
Can you do me a favor then?
Go ahead and make me a sway roll. +1 for the information gathering, and plus another D, because she's very, very eager to listen.
I have a dot in that as well for my background.
Yeah.
6.
Oh, okay. With a 6, she goes, "You want me to go inside the research institute, don't you? I heard you talking about it. If you go in there, there's something that I need you to bring out."
Well, I guess I can't shake your hand, but I'm listening, and I'm Bishop, by the way.
Genevieve, it's nice to meet you. And this person has the look of like an actress almost. She's very like Hollywood movie pretty, like that old timey kind of pretty look
Yeah,
to her.
what a duo this is.
And she sort of extends a hand and says, "We can't shake, but it's small and it's going to be in the basement. They're probably going to keep it in like a storage bin or something, but it's a locket. It's got a picture of you'll recognize me, and there's another lady. She's taller, big hat. Hopefully you'll recognize the picture."
I will look for it, presuming it's yours. We just have to. Oh, well, I suppose you can't tell anyone either, if no one can see you.
Yes.
And after a little bit of reasoning, like with himself, Bishop will explain like what they're looking for and where they think
Okay.
it is.
Go ahead and write down in your personal contacts on your character sheet, Genevieve.
Great.
And yeah, okay. So tell me what you would like for her to do.
Hold on. Oh, okay.
Take your time.
So I guess this is kind of a rough spot because Bishop doesn't feel like a decision maker for the group, but I think what they're looking for is if there is a way in that we don't know about, that I haven't expressed to her already, to let us know where that is and what it is. But secondly, the patrols surrounding this like magic wing 8H, and if there's anything peculiar inside that might be our like target.
Okay. So I will say she gets the bonuses from y'all. And you send Genevieve. She's listening with rapt attention. She doesn't have any extra information. But she nods viciously and will start making her way to the tower. She's just gonna do this right now, unless you would like her to do it at a later time. It's currently like ass crack of dawn. It's probably 5 a.m. Like,
no, and I guess Bishop is just gonna wait for her. Like, since they're up, the breakfast is like not it. It's like a piece of pita bread. There's nothing on it. They're just eating it and waiting for someone else to come in.
Okay. And how long would you like Genevieve to survey the tower?
Long enough to get the information that we're looking for.
Okay. All right. So she will be gone long enough to patrol for the guards. And eventually you all wake up. Is there anything in particular that characters would like to do today? Anyone you want to talk to? Any plans you would like to enact?
I was gonna go get beat up, but now I don't think I will.
Is there any way to do research on that building?
Certainly. Is there anything in particular you had in mind, or do you want to try and get some information like from the streets, or do you want to go to a library?
I want to find out who owned it in the past and who owns it now and what kind of permits they have.
Okay.
The building department.
Fantastic. So you go to, and all that kind of stuff is public record as it is city property. And you look it up and you see that the current owner is listed as Dr. Leonard Church. And you see the previous owner was a person of undetermined gender who just went by Niles. And make me a study check. Oh.
Okay, I got a I got a 1.
Hey, Katie, you want to make a deal?
That depends.
I will give you a full success on the roll. You will get the information that you could possibly get. And the deal will be resolved. I can tell you right now, it's going to be a quick resolution too. But you will get the info you're looking for.
But it affects everybody?
Nope, just you.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Okay. So as you're poring over this information, you almost miss it, but there are some dates that don't match. The previous owner of the building owned it up until about 5 years ago in like February. And then there's a 3-month gap period, like the entire rest of spring and summer. So like more like 4 or so months, from March to September. The owner's not listed anywhere. And it's not listed as city property, and it's not listed as private property. And then in the fall, Dr. Leonard Church became the official owner of the building proper. And you would know that those dates roughly line up with when the building went by the name Matrix. And as you're pondering all of this, you hear, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
And you look up and you see a blue coat that you recognize. A graying, blonde-haired old blue coat with sort of a portable ramekin. Rolling D's 20s. Thank you so much for that raid. Welcome in, everybody. This is the same person who booked you all when you essentially first arrived. It is Detective LaRose.
So I get that.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm not sure why you're here.
I was just saying, I wanted to stop by and see what exactly it is you were looking for. Wondering if I can help.
Yeah, I'm looking at this building. I want to buy it.
And he sort of leans over the papers for a second and goes, I don't think that one's for sale. They're usually kept, in the pile that says for sale.
Right, but if I can find who owns it, then I can go to them and say, I want to buy this. And give them my money, and they will give me the property.
Uh-huh. You much of a scientist, Miss Katie, right?
Correct. I took a few classes.
Just a few classes and you're interested in a research institute, huh?
Well, I need somebody to research my new product that I'm coming out with.
Oh, you're a businesswoman.
Yes, a whole line of products.
Interesting.
I don't know how to make them, but I can get people who know how to make them and pay them minimum wage and make a lot of money.
Interesting.
I read a book on how to run a business, so I'm just going to take that and make a whole empire. Do you want in?
And he looks at you for a good 20 seconds and he goes, no, I don't think we do business the same way.
All you have to do is pay a couple $100 and as a seed investment, and I'll reinvest it into our product line, and then you will get a percentage. And if you bring more people in, you can get a percentage of what they bring in.
Wait, does that doesn't make any sense?
It does. You'll make, as long as you recruit people, you'll get money.
Okay, so but I feel like I'm just roping in and it's at this point that like one of the stewardesses,
you're helping them.
One of the stewardesses comes over and says, excuse me, if you two are all done with the information that you wanted to grab, we do have a line out the door and we got to get some more people coming in. Just
can I have copies of this information?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me 1 second. And she takes it and disappears behind the desk, and you see LaRose is sort of.
Yeah, you should totally do it. It's helping you're helping people make better lives for themselves.
Make me a sway roll. I'm gonna say you've got a 1 die disadvantage on this.
I don't have any die in sway.
Okay, so just go ahead and roll a disadvantage for me.
I'm sorry, I tried to keep a straight face for all of that.
No, it's perfect.
At least she didn't like go to him and say, "Hey, how you doing? Did you hear about this new thing?"
Amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, it's the Avon lady.
Oh my god.
That's basically what she's acting like she is.
I've been chuckling this whole time. I was like, it's a pyramid. Wait, it's a pyramid.
No, it's an inverted cone. It's fine.
Okay, I got a 5 and a 3. So it's a 3.
Okay. With a 5 and a 3. With a 3, you see that there is just a second where Detective LaRose does consider it. And then he goes, "You have a nice rest of your day, Miss Katie." And he turns and makes his way out of the building. Oh, thank you so much for that raid, Raiders. Welcome in.
Call me, okay?
And with that, the camera will shift over to Ari. I believe you are at your place of work, looking for someone in particular.
Indeed, Ari is going to do one of her usual frequent visits back to her local brothel, which happens to be her place of regular business. But sometimes she has clients on the side. The hustle, the grind, in more ways than one. And so she's going to
Gotta make partner.
Exactly. Gotta make brothel partner, fam. I gotta get verified in my brothel. If I don't have that little check mark, what am I doing?
Oh, Lordy.
One day I'll be ambassador of this damn, brothel. It'll be great.
Okay.
But until that day, she's going to check in on an old friend of hers who she very much feels very close to, like a little sister, Nerix. She just wants to check in on her as a regular, like, hey, how you doing? You staying clean, clear, under control, cover girl, like kind of thing,
As you re-enter and you see the matron of your house, Lorelei, she goes, "Ari, dear, how are you, beautiful?" And she gives you a kiss on the cheek. You feeling okay?
If it wasn't just for, more topside things.
Yes, well, so long as you're being careful, I am okay with all of the topside things that you can handle. If you're looking for Neri, she's up top in her normal room.
Has she got a client at the moment, or is she free?
I think she's free, and if she's not, let's be honest, she'll kick him out for you anyway, so.
All right, thank you, darling. And, please, let me know. Seriously. Anything.
I know, love. We're keeping our heads above water. That's what we do. Our girls are survivors, aren't they? And the rest are trying their best.
The best fighters in the city.
And as you ascend the stairs and open the door, you see sitting in front of a window at one of her most prized possessions, this sort of muted purple vanity that was given to her by a very particularly wealthy clientele and is inlay with, it's not actual gold, but it's painted gold. And she's always taken care of it because she does not have many things. And she's sort of sitting on the seat cushion in front of the vanity, brushing her hair with the window open and the wind blowing behind, almost giving off the impression of wings, the sort of glittering, slowly shifting curtains. She almost looks like a fairy. And she turns and says, "Hi, dearest."
Hey, Pixie, how are you?
You know, another day, another 35 cents.
Ari sits down next to her and starts brushing her hair behind her ears and just not so subtly checking for any bruising or anything like that, you know, just trying to make sure that she's being treated as well as possible. But trying to make it come off in a way of just endearing
Right.
sort of behavior.
And she just sort of like looks you in the eyes with the brush in one hand and goes, "Oh, you think you're so clever, don't you?" "I'm fine, Ari."
I just worry about you. You don't get out of here enough. When are you going to get to see the rest of the world that you deserve to see?
Seeing the rest of the world costs a lot of money, and I don't have a lot, love. But at some point, I saw a new thing, and you see she opens the drawer of the vanity and pulls out one of many what look like travel brochures. And she goes, "Look at this one. Look, this ship is called the Waning Moon." Ooh,
The Waning Moon.
Pretty, right?
Absolutely.
We can sail on it as treated guests and see such exciting things as the endless inky black sea that encompasses us all, blah, 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 blah. At the very least, we can see some delightful stops. We can get out of this stinking city for a little while.
Soon. We'll be out
Yes.
of the city soon.
Soon. Been soon for how many years?
Well, okay, 7 years maybe still be soon, but some don't get to see that in a lifetime.
Yes. Well, hopefully it actually will be soon. I get a feeling, and she sort of taps the vanity, that Mr. Fancy's going to be paying me a visit soon.
And is Mr. Fancy come with a big fat paycheck?
He fucking better, or I'm kicking him out.
Good. I'm glad that you're getting more comfortable with kicking them out. I remember when you couldn't even say no to a slug that wasn't worthy of the sewers.
Yes, no is a very magical word, and I disrespected its power for years, but no longer.
We're going to make it. And she grabs onto both of her hands. We'll be out of here soon. I think this last job is going to be the one.
Just make sure it's the last job because you're retiring and not because something goes wrong. Right?
I'll always make it through. Some way or another.
And she extends a pinky finger and says, "Nothing's killed us yet."
Nothing's killed us yet.
And I think the camera zooms out of the window where this conversation is taking place. Does anyone else have something that they would like to do? Nines, Bishop, or Call?
I should probably talk to someone.
Okay. So you want to go to Sixth Tree and talk to Albert? All right.
Yeah.
Bishop and Cole, do you all have anything that you wanted to do in particular?
Cole
No, I
mostly do a bit of training and indulging his vice at the same time, working at his Uncle Aunt's shop.
Okay. Absolutely. And Bishop, you were going to say?
I guess I'm waiting on Genevieve to come back before I leave.
Right.
Because I don't want her to
that is
miss
what you were
anything.
doing. So we're going to go with 9s. You go up to 6 tower. How do you get this person's attention?
How do I get? I mean, are they home?
No,
Great.
rarely, as infrequently as possible.
Is anyone home?
Yeah, I would say that the leader of the wait staff, a new hire, that position's a revolving door.
Mm-hmm. I'll wander over.
Did I leave the door open?
No,
Hi.
I walked in. Hello. We haven't met yet, have we?
We haven't, but I'm seeing similarities in features.
Right. Yeah. Albrick. Have you seen him?
Oh, young Master Albrick, he said he was going down to the soda shop, I believe.
Okay. Cool. What was your name?
Carmen. And
Carmen.
your...
Ninth.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I-
Pleasure. I'll leave.
And she just turns and like scuttles away.
Yeah.
And you exit and go down to a local...
Soda shop, I suppose.
I mean, you know this area, and there's
Mhm.
not really a soda shop anywhere. But you do know that there used to be one. And you make your way to the now abandoned store, and you do see, sitting on the roof, pretty unmistakably, a tuft of brown hair that sort of peeks over the roof.
Oi!
Sorry,
Yeah, you.
no one here.
I throw a rock.
Oh, you fucking tosser!
Oh, fucking tosser. Get down.
What? What do you want?
We have to talk.
And you see that off of the belt of this literal child that cannot be more than 7 or 8, there is a rope and a grappling hook that gets placed firmly into the side of this roof. And Albrecht rappels down and says, "You're still alive?
Yeah.
Well done."
Surprised?
A bit, yeah.
All right. Okay. Fine then. Surprised you're still alive. Went around with River Spawn, eh?
I haven't committed to joining anyone. I'm a free, what's it called?
Agent.
Yes, yeah. I'm a free agent.
See, you're not. Because you're literally a child.
Thank you very much. I'm one of the best thieves in this entire fucking neighborhood, all right?
Right, yeah, of course. Of course you are. There's no other better thieves around here than you.
I'm glad we agree.
Yeah. Just, they're not... Why them, of all of the ones?
Well, I sort of tried to steal something off their boss.
Oh. Albert.
Listen, his coin purse was huge and just out there. I didn't know. Guy must have eyes in the back of his head or something. I don't know how he saw me.
If it was huge, it probably weighed a fucking ton, and he took it off his belt and he noticed.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, so your what? Now your punishment is join the river spawn.
Well, I feel like the talk probably would have gotten worse if I didn't offer it.
Mm-hmm.
They called me a tadpole. I don't know what that is.
Like, what an actual tadpole is. It's like a baby frog.
Oh, okay. That's why would they? I'm not a frog.
It's. I just. Yeah. So what's the deal? Is there a score that I need to settle, or what?
You don't need to do anything. I'm handling it.
Right. Are you?
Yes.
That's why you're sitting on a roof.
I was up there playing jacks.
At least you're still doing childhood things. That's nice, at least.
Well, did you talk to Mom?
No, of course not. There's new wait staff? Who's that?
Oh, some fucking chump. I told her I was going down to the soda shop, and she just believes me.
I mean, that's what she fucking told me. And
really.
Yeah. It's like, what? A 7-year-old comes up to you and is like, oh, I'm going to a soda shop.
Right, like I'm an actual child. It's weird that she just lets me walk out of the house by myself and just never tells her parents. It's a little unbelievable. I'll take it, though.
Where's your sister?
Oh. Well, that's,
What do you mean?
She's sick. They don't know what's wrong with her, but she's got a fever.
Right, probably just a cold. It's starting to get colder. Y'all are out here running around a bit too much.
Well, yeah, she's probably just got a cold.
What do you think it is?
There was some lady that came to the house, and she was, I don't know what she wanted, but she talked to Mom and Dad, and they started arguing, and the lady did something and blew all the candles out. And then Cordelia gets sick. Cordelia doesn't get sick.
No. See what I can find out, at least. Do you have enough coin to get by at the moment?
And you see a wide grin split on the face.
No, not to have fun and live your dreams, not to buy every damn toy in the shop or every soda or whatever.
He holds up a bag that it has probably mechanically 2 coin in it. He goes, oh, I know exactly what I can spend my money on.
Nice.
I'm going to get an ice cream sundae so big I can swim in the bowl.
All right. Well, then I'm not... If I'm going to... I'll throw...
And then the tiny arms wrap around your waist.
Oh.
Say, I'm glad you're okay, Nines. I know you're doing, like, big jobs, so...
Yeah. Hey, if you need a better gang, we're theoretically looking for people.
And I could be your 6 Towers contact?
That's not what I said.
But it's not what you said.
It's not what I said. Yeah, you're right. We'll talk about
Come
it.
on, I'll start out small. I'll just keep an eye on things and update you if anything weird happens.
If it keeps you potentially out of the grasp of the river spawn, then yeah, of course.
All right,
Is that a deal?
a deal.
Shake on it?
And you see he spits into his hand and shakes your hand.
Great. Yep. Love it.
And yeah, with that, I believe the camera will pan back to Bishop. It is toward the end of the day, and let's see how well this went. Okay. So Bishop, you're just sort of sitting there. What does Bishop do to pass the time? It's been 8 hours of waiting.
So they don't want to leave the lair. Like, they don't want to have to step outside in case Genevieve comes back and they're not there. So there's like a good amount of just like random like pacing and like running around that's like sort of adjacent to a workout, but not really. They start like trying to play a game of Scrabble against themselves, get annoyed, stop doing that. Then they try to like work on the mission for a little bit instead and look over like the information that they have, like what they brought in from the rich people when they were playing little lawyer games, and see if there's anything that they missed while they were at the party.
Okay. And as you're at the table sort of doing that, you hear this sound as you turn and see Genevieve stepping just through a wall. And she says, all right. Wow, that was a lot. I think someone saw me. Someone on the third or so floor with glasses. She acted like she could see me, so I just
I've been
bugged out of
thinking
there.
about this today, actually. Do they look like me at all? Like weird eyes, horns, anything like that?
No, I don't think so. She was wearing a lot of like, I don't know, they were like heavy clothes, very thick gloves and lots of cloth, very heavy cloth. This was not my accent earlier in the episode.
Beats me.
But I think she saw me. She didn't make a move to stop me or say anything, though.
Sit, or I don't know if that helps you. I'm gonna sit, and you can sit if you want.
She takes a seat next to you.
Oh, okay, cool.
And she says, all right, so the guard shifts pretty regularly on about a 3.5 hour schedule, and they move according to that pathing. As far as ways into the place, it doesn't look like there are too many. The windows in the back are directly tied into the research halls that they work out of. The basement, I see the doors in, but I don't know where it went. I don't think there's a way up from those two doors. It seems like it's almost kept separate on purpose. And then room 8H. So I couldn't go into that room. There was some field, some magic of some kind that I couldn't enter. It was like a force field or something. it didn't seem like living people had that problem. But I didn't give up because we made a deal, and I watched as the door opened and closed, and that thing's big, Bishop. And she like tries to elongate with her arms, goes like big.
Wait, what is it?
I don't know. It looks like a stone box almost.
Oh, that's why it's called sarcophagus.
It's easily about 9 or 8 feet across and about 4 feet off the ground.
Jesus. Oh my god.
And the people that I heard talking about it, apparently they're going to move it soon, in like 2 to 3 days. They said something about tests being inconclusive, and they said they were going to move it. There was a guy in there. He had this long, crooked nose, bald head, gray at the sides, and he wore like a suit. He's kind of grungy. He was gross. I didn't like him.
Okay.
But he said that he would be keeping hold of the key to the room. There's supposed to be 2 different teams. There's a security detail that's meant to escort the thing. And then him and the key are going to the same location, but in a separate way to try and keep, so they don't lose everything at once, I guess.
Okay. Well, do you mind being my rubber duck?
I
Do you know
don't-
what that means?
No.
I'm gonna talk at you until I figure something out, if
Oh.
that's okay.
Yeah, certainly. And she just like, she brings her legs together, just puts her hands in her lap, and is attentively listening.
You don't talk to a lot of people, do you?
No.
Nobody likes to listen to me talk. Okay. So the basement is separate. Did you see your locket, by the way?
I did. It was the first thing I checked for.
You're not on a time schedule. It's fine. You found it, though. It's down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in one of the supply crates.
So there's a way into the basement, but the basement doesn't connect to the rest of the building. The top floor, or not the top floor, the second to top floor that has the sarcophagus in it is magically warded of... do I call you a... Is that offensive?
It doesn't offend me, but maybe take it on a case-by-case basis.
You can't go through, but other people who seemed more of the alive, they could go through, and they're moving it soon, which is probably why we have a deadline. So I guess this is why I'm worried now. If we break in before they move it, I don't know how the fuck we're gonna get it out. So I think we might have to wait, right? Wait until they move it and split up and get the jump on them then.
Right.
The lady that you saw that saw you, did she seem important?
She seemed like she was leading whatever work she was doing there, but that was on the 3rd floor, not the 8th, so I don't know how in the mix she would be.
I don't know where the fuck everybody is. Everybody just goes out all day. Like, we don't have a job to do. Like, maybe I just don't have friends. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know where they all went. Oh, I gotta talk to them.
Well, we still have a couple of days before we have to, before the move, so...
Okay. We have a couple of days before the move. We can figure it out before then. Yeah, I don't see us being able to get out with something that large and likely that heavy without being noticed also. That seems damn near impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you for ducking. That was helpful.
I'm glad I was a helpful duck. Another question though. Have you and your friends already been spotted by the people in this company?
I think Nines was talking to some dude that worked there. Like the other day. Why? Do they have our pictures up on the wall?
No, they just mentioned that it was sort of a pain having all this extra security. Apparently this isn't how they normally keep it. I think they're expecting someone.
Maybe it's because they're moving the thing.
Possibly.
I hate Tommy Toucanch, Genevieve. I hate him.
I don't know who that is, but if you hate him, he's probably not great.
I'm really happy that you don't know who he is. That makes me almost feel emotion.
Okay.
Okay, so they might be expecting us. That's even worse, actually. We're fucked. Is anyone else here? Have I really been stuck here for 8 hours by myself? Not you, Genevieve.
Is anybody else at the lair?
Yeah, Cole will come in carrying food towards
How
the
long
evening.
have you been here?
I just got here.
We got too many doors.
I think
You see... Yeah, go ahead.
I think Katie's been like asleep, like she has her room, and she just comes out and says, "Can you keep it down?"
No, I can't keep it down. My friend has brought us some information that's a little important about the sarcophagus and stuff.
Okay, well, I need to finish waking up.
Amazing. Katie, have you ever almost died in your backstory?
I think.
Oh, I know why I can see her now. Okay. Sorry.
I think maybe once that whole scuffle.
Okay.
Like
All
that,
right.
that could have been when she did her thing.
Sure. And Cole, have you ever almost died in your life? Like a life flashing before the eyes type moment?
I don't think so.
Okay. Katie, you can see the woman in a red wedding dress that's sitting on the couch next to Bishop. Cole, you cannot.
Why would you pick red?
I think it looks cool.
Oh, I didn't pick it. You can see me?
Yes, you can see me, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, well, just get comfortable. I got to finish waking up.
Cole, as you're standing there, you hear this loud scraping noise of metal against stonework. And Bishop, Cull, and Katie, the hairs on your arms stand up as Genevieve sits up straight and goes, "Oh no." And Cull, you can suddenly see this person just come into view. As I need you to go ahead and roll me a finesse check. Cole, go ahead and make me a finesse check real quick. Internet troubles. As that's happening, you all watch as Bishop, Katie, and Genevieve, you all watch as there's the sound of like this. It sounds like a projectile is launched at an incredibly high speed. And
Oh.
just lost Ryan completely. Oh no. Up.
There we are.
There you go. Welcome back.
I was like about to say, and now Anita playing as Ryan.
And now
Playing
Anita
Paul.
as Sphinx.
My bad. That was a 4.
Okay. So with a 4, you in just the absolute barest nick of time, you see Genevieve extend her hand out to you as she comes into your vision, and something is telling you to get away from the door. What does Cole do?
You will get away from the door.
Okay, so you just like full tilt sprint, and you only get maybe 2 steps forward before it explodes. The door bends in and just flies off of the hinges, and the entrance is filled with smoke and thick red flames that dissipate after the explosion happens, sort of knocking you all to the ground. And Cole, you can now see Genevieve.
That door was mahogany.
And that's where we're going to end our session tonight.
It ends on, that was mahogany!
Absolutely.
I'm
But
there!
before we get to outros, we have a special little end credits scene just for the viewers. The characters don't see any of this, but the camera pans up and away from the warehouse about 3 buildings over. On the roof, there is a person of nondescript gender dressed in heavy crimson red leathers that is laid down on a roof with a rifle balanced on their arm, looking down through it. And as they pull back, we see thick pink curls of hair that frame a emotionless charcoal colored mask. And that is the end of episode 1 of Blue Ghosts. Thank you all so much for joining us, lovely invisible people. And yeah, it was a great time. Hey, we're back. We did it. It was a great time. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to shut my mouth and let these wonderful people tell you all the wonderful things that they're doing so wonderfully, starting in reverse order with Janie, who's been playing Katie.
I'm doing a lot of things that I'm doing that I will probably put on Twitter because I can't remember them and I didn't write them down.
Understandable.
So Janie Part 7575.
Absolutely. And next up we have Becca. Becca, how you doing? Where can we find you?
Hello, I'm good. I've had a fun time. You can find me on Twitter as at Cool Armadillo with a 0 as the final O. And you can also find me on my podcast, Unlikely Adventurers, where me and my co-host make really bad D&D characters. We talked about Turkey for a long time, and some of the most recent ones. So
Yeah.
it's if you want just pure chaotic, horny, awkward energy. That's what it is.
That's the Becca brand. And next up, we have Alex, who's been bringing us the lovely Ari this evening.
Hello, my name is Alex, also known as Madam Gandalf. You can find me here on Twitch basically 6-7 days a week. I on my own channel, let alone others. But yeah, I do a little bit of cooking, singing, TTRPGs, as well as a variety of games, including GTA roleplay. Forget the fact that it's Grand Theft Auto. Ignore that. Pretend it's just like, it's real life, but roleplay. And we have to use GTA to make it happen because it's one of the closest that we have in video games. But yeah, it's a really great time. And I would love for you to come by and have a drink at my Green Dragon Tavern.
Hell yeah. And next up on the list, we have the lovely Ryan, who was playing Cull. Near-death experience there at the end, bud.
Yeah, I forgot about the explosion. Sphinx are all on Twitter. Sphinx are all on Twitch. When I'm not lurking here, I'm usually around lurking in other people's streams, which is usually where you can find me.
Fantastic. And then last but never least, we have the amazing Max.
I'm Max. You can find me at Arcane Goth, most places that I would want you to find me. I am not affiliated with the new Arcane show, and I'm kind of mad that they ripped off my brand with their name. In the month of December, I will be here in addition to on TTRPG on Tuesdays, GMing a holiday spooky mini campaign of The Between. And I will be doing an all queer VTM one shot, whatever the Saturday of PAX U is, like the 11th. That day on Twitch with Paper Crow, and I also will be at PAX U, except for the 4 hours that I have to do that stream. Then I'll be in AJ and I's Airbnb. Shout out AJ. Also, he's not here. That's it. That's where I'll be in December.
Hell yeah. Fantastic. And I guess that just leaves me. Hello, my lovely creatures of the night. My name is D. I'm a streamer, actor, musician, professional GM all over the internet space, and the mastermind behind our lovely little Blades in the Dark campaign that we got going on here. Thank you all for joining us for the first episode. It's been so much fun. You can find me on this channel on Mondays, where I play a Zuko for at least a little while longer, and Kingsguard, a Roll20 Spotlight show. Wednesdays, obviously, you can find me here doing more of this nonsense. And if you can't find me here, you can find me on Thursdays on my channel, where I, AJ, and Mallard Man, Milan, make up the greatest team in all of esports, the Dub Club. We always win. We've never lost a single time. There's no need to check the VOD. It would be a waste of your time. I just told you what happens. We always win. And outside of that, on my channel, we have entered Batsember. And yes, that is a real word. Shut your mouth. I am going to be playing through every single Arkham Batman game on my stream. So come by if you want to see some Caped Crusader nonsense. And lastly, I am the reigning, hold on, one second. I am the reigning, retaining TTRPG Universal Champion. Get out of the way, Pop Filter. And if you want to find out how you can win this both of me, you'll have to follow me on Twitter. Isn't that just a fun little cross promotion thing? Isn't that wild? And yeah, thank you all for joining us. I believe that's the last thing that we have for you. And also, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to the ever lovely Anita, the Critical Miss herself. They are doing all the production side stuff. This overlay y'all are looking at, all the scene transitions are all done by that wonderful, wonderful egg working behind the scenes. And make sure you always thank your producers. We're going to start doing this in this actual play community. Start thanking the people running tech behind the scenes. They put in work. We're going to go on a raid over to TPK Roleplay. We're going to show them some love. And I think that I've come up with a sign-off slogan.
Oh.
Until the next time, the fireflies are in the skies. Y'all have a good one. Bye, everybody.